Okay, so today we're diving into something called the Blossom Society. It's this community that's really trying to shake up how we think about relationships. Their whole thing is about bringing dignity, education, and safety back into the picture. So let's unpack what that actually means.
All right, let's kick things off with a question that probably hits close to home for a lot of us. I mean, we live in this world of just endless swiping, right? All these apps promise connection, but why do so many of us just feel tired, dissatisfied? It really feels like people are looking for something more real, something more honest.
And that right there, that's the exact problem the Blossom Society is trying to tackle. The founder, Neil Coughlin, puts it perfectly. This idea that one person has to be our everything, our emotional, physical, and intellectual rock, that's a huge amount of pressure. It's just not sustainable for a lot of people. And that's exactly where this new idea starts to take root. So you might be asking, what's the alternative then? Well, the interesting thing is, this isn't about just throwing out tradition altogether. It's more about evolving. It's about consciously moving past some of these older ideas that maybe just don't fit our lives anymore and stepping into something a lot more intentional. Okay, so that brings us to what the Blossom Society actually is. They call it an ecosystem for ethical non-monogamy, or ENM. And just so we're all on the same page, ENM basically means open, honest relationships where it's okay to have more than one partner as long as everyone knows and consents. But here's the real kicker. It's not a dating app. It's not just some social club. It's a platform built around coaching and education. That's a huge difference. All right, so how does a community like this actually work? Well, it's not a free-for-all. There's a really clear blueprint. It's a core philosophy with a set of guiding principles that every single person who joins has to agree to. And they're super clear about what they are and what they're not. This is probably one of the most important things to get. They are a curated, coaching-led community. What they are not is a hookup site. They're not just some party promoters. And absolutely, it is not a place for secrecy or shady behavior. Making that distinction is like the entire point. So how do they actually build that kind of culture? It all comes down to these three pillars. First, it starts with you, knowing yourself, what you want, what your limits are. Then it's about how you treat others, with total respect for their choices and agreements. And finally, and this is key, it's all supported by real guidance. The goal is to take that initial curiosity and turn it into actual skill in how you connect with people. And this quote just nails their entire philosophy, doesn't it? Connection without consciousness is chaos. Connection with awareness is art. It's not just about connecting with people randomly. It's about being mindful, being intentional, and turning what could be a total mess into something, well, beautiful and purposeful. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. They use this whole metaphor of a garden to describe their community. I love that. So let's take a look inside this garden, at the different roles people have, and the specific paths they follow. So right at the center, single women are seen as the hearts of the garden. The idea is to give them the voice and the safety to really define the culture of respect. This lets them explore on their own terms. And this isn't just a nice idea. It's a foundational piece of the whole structure. It's meant to directly challenge the kind of power imbalances and safety issues you see, well, pretty much everywhere else in the dating world. Now, for single men, the journey is really different. It's very deliberately structured. The mantra is basically learn first, participate second. So the coaching is all about real, tangible skills, things like emotional maturity, how to communicate boundaries, and what enthusiastic consent actually looks like. It's a system where you earn trust by showing you get it. You don't just get a free pass. And what about couples who are curious about this? Well, there's a dedicated path for them too. The training gives them actual tools and frameworks to navigate opening up their relationship. Think about things like how to handle jealousy, not as this big, scary monster, but as a signal that you need to communicate. It's all about building the skills to explore this stuff together, as a team, in a way that's safe and doesn't blow up their partnership. So with all the structure and coaching, you're probably wondering about the value, right? How they position this. And they frame membership not just as a fee you pay to get in, but as a real investment. An investment in yourself, in your awareness, and in learning how to build better, more meaningful connections. And to put that investment in perspective, they use a comparison that's super easy to grasp. They say the cost is less than one latte a week. It's a simple, relatable way to frame the price, and it perfectly sets up their next point.
Which of course leads to this punchline. A latte? That lasts, 10 minutes? But awareness, emotional intelligence, the communication skills you learn here, that stuff lasts a lifetime. And that right there is the core of their value proposition.
So, to wrap things up, let's talk about the promise, the glue that holds this whole community together. It's basically a shared agreement, a handful of core principles that every single person commits to. This is what keeps the garden healthy and thriving from everybody inside.
And here they are. Just 4 principles, but they are absolutely non-negotiable. Respect, safety, integrity, and growth. These aren't just, nice words on a website. They are the actual foundation of everything. It's everyone's job to uphold them.
And this last quote just brings it all home. To blossom is not to love many, it is to love consciously. It's such a powerful reframe. The goal isn't about the number of people you connect with, it's about the quality of those connections, the awareness you bring to them. It redefines blossoming itself as something intentional, aware, and ethical. And that is a really fascinating idea to end on.